We appreciate all of the support from you guys, and we are working very hard on the next drop. The Pursue Your Dreams tee will only be available for a few more days, so be sure to go to can'tfold.com today and get your order.
Because eventually the black vote's not going to matter. Something that they worked so hard for is not going to matter. They get enough illegals in. What are we at? 10 million under Biden? And they're doing it intentionally. Like, it's going to be the same thing that they did to black Americans in the 60s. What Lyndon Baines Johnson did when he established welfareism and the Great Society Act. They want to get these people in, offer them handouts, and turn them into economic slaves that will continue to vote for Democrats because they're getting free handouts. And it's incredibly racist, first and foremost, but because black Americans are still, a lot of black Americans, I should say, are still living under this deception that Lyndon Baines Johnson was a good president, even though he was an avowed racist. I mean, he hated black people. I mean, one of the, so many times, I mean, hard R referring to us as the N-word. I'll have those N-words voting Democrat for the next 200 years. And this man is being hailed as a hero because he had to sign the Civil Rights Act, essentially with a figurative gun to his head because the country was on fire. You know, JFK had just died, and there were riots in the streets protesting because of racism. And he did not want to sign it, but he did. And with the other hand, he signed the Great Society Act and incentivized welfareism and, you know, programs to incentivize not marrying black men. You know, to think that we had government agents knocking on the door, going into the homes of black women and being like, there better not be a man that lives here. We're just here to check to make sure. If you want this check, dad can't be home. Every other ill that black America is facing today is because we've removed fathers from the home. So I'm like a big, you know, I use my platform to talk about men a lot and the need for male leadership, everything that is so harmful, this, you know, Me Too, false feminism, all of this crap. It's anti-man, and it's anti-man for a reason, because a society cannot survive without strong men. A household cannot survive without strong men. We need strong men to lead homes. And so the fracturing of the black family, I think, was the test. Like, you know, like we were the mice in the experiment. Like, let's see how that goes. And now they're kind of doing that writ large. And I hate feminism so much. I can't even tell you, because what it's about is it's just an attack on men.
Hold on, you just said a lot, Candace. Damn. You said a lot. Now with the politicians, right? Whether it's Lyndon B. Johnson, Trump, Biden, I think people are able to ignore a lot of their BS as long as they can get something done.
Yeah.
You say that. That's why I don't even like to talk about the person. I like to talk about the policies.
So you're wrong.
Conservatives and MAGA.
I hate this.
Well, I would say between the traditional conservatives and MAGA.
Yeah, like before what the Conservative Party was before MAGA and what it is now.
Yeah, so I think what you're describing is that there was this fracture in the conservative movement because people realized that when he was referring to the swamp, what he meant was it didn't actually matter if you were on the left or the right. They were all working together in D.C. and selling out all of America. I mean, there is no reason why you go to D.C. and become a multimillionaire. You're supposed to be there to serve the American people. You're there taking our tax dollars. So what was happening was these lobbying interests, like, you know, Big Pharma goes down and they lobby and they'll offer money to a candidate to go push a drug, like the COVID vaccine, or they'll lobby for war. It's like, you know, biggest lobby, of course, military industrial complex. So we're all suffering. You're going to work because these lobbyists are getting their incentives done by buying out these politicians. And so Trump kind of hit the scene as somebody who wasn't bought and paid for because he didn't need their money. He wasn't like a random congressman going to D.C. with no money. And he just started talking about the swamp. Like, it's not even Republican or Democrat. And I want people to wake up to that, because I'm not here like ride or die for Republicans. They all sell us out. Like the stuff that they did during COVID is criminal. It's criminal. And
expound on that.
I mean, just the free handouts. First off, trillions of dollars. You're signing these omnibus bills. If you read into it, where that money is going, it's insane. It's literally going, you know, to museums, boards of museums. They're quite literally money laundering is what's happening when they sign these bills. Dang. But they keep it so that the information level is so low for Americans that it's like, oh, COVID's so bad, like we're going to give you a check that's like, you know, $300. This basically describes welfareism, right? Like, despite the fact that there's been trillions of dollars since the establishment of welfare, Black Americans are poorer today than we were before it. People don't know this, but during the time of Jim Crow, before welfare was established in the 1950s, Black Americans were actually outpacing white Americans in this country in terms of economic growth. And the reason for that was because our families were together. We had good values. Wow. The government only wants to give you the bare minimum. But where's the rest of the money? Where is it going? They sign these bills making you think that this money is going to you. It's not. They are stealing from the American people. And you look at your congressman, whoever it is that you guys sent down to DC, and you realize that they're all just puppets. I feel like we're watching a performance, and who can say the most outrageous thing. The Republicans don't want to sign this because they want, slavery and they want you back in change. The Democrats don't want to sign this because they want grandma to die. Whatever it is, you're watching
performative.
To me, it's a play.
That's why I don't do it. That's why I think if you're black, you shouldn't be beholden to any political party. Democrat or Republican.
Right. I mean, I think that any concept of saying that I am a Republican forever, a Democrat forever is a nonsense. You should always look at the candidates that are running, and any person that is running saying that they want to grow government is your enemy.
Why do you think people give you a lot of backlash for questioning people and having questions? I see all the time with Charlamagne, if we question something that Kamala Harris did, or question something that Joe Biden did, or question somebody that's Democrat did, why do you think our people have so much backlash when you ask so many questions?
Stupid.
Identity
Well,
politics.
because I think that they don't realize that they've been manipulated against their own interests. And a lot of it is, when you start telling the truth, you become a problem to the establishment, right? So if you're the military industrial complex and you want people to just kind of sleepwalk into another war, and I'm sitting here telling you that, Pentagon just can't keep finding the trillions of dollars that they send overseas. They've got this budget and they're sending all this money to Ukraine, and then they say, oh, we don't know where all the money went. It's being laundered and it's being sent back to a very small group of powerful people. And so when you have someone like me who's cutting through all of the emotional arguments, you have to turn that person into persona non grata. Right. And what better way to do it than to have their own community attacking them and saying that they're, pro-white or anti-black. I mean, it's a nonsense things that they say about me. If you listen to what I'm actually saying, I'm sitting here providing a blueprint for Black Americans to get ahead because it's time. OK, it's time. We've been doing this for a very long time in this country. Black Americans, wake up. Okay? They don't like you. They don't like us. OK, there's not.
America has.
Yes,
America.
Yeah, like the government, the American government. Why would you think the American government wants to help you? Well, at what point in history has that proven to be right? And I'll challenge that and I'll make it wider to all Americans. When has it ever been the circumstance that you felt that the government really just was out for your own best interests? Think of them as a corporation. They want to grow themselves. They want new departments, bigger departments, larger budgets like any other corporation would want. And they never want to leave DC because we don't have term limits, which we should have, right? Definitely. If we had term limits and said, you can only serve for 4 years, well, then guess what they would be doing for those 4 years? Trying to shrink government because they'd have to come back out and be us, right? When you look at the way that your tax dollars are being spent, you should be outraged.
She need to be somewhere.
You should be angry.
But
stop thinking that the enemy is,
But this is the same thing for Vic
constantly
said,
have
man.
us arguing
That's
against
why they
each
need to
other,
get on the
women
same
versus
team.
men, black versus white, It's a
That's real
nonsense.
as
The reason why
fuck.
they want us
Yeah, yeah.
constantly warring is because it distracts from all of us coming together and taking a look at who the real criminals are. And the real criminals are this small group, this small cadre of powerful people that I think we're virtually all still on a plantation. They just made it look nice. You got a nice chair. We got nice chairs here. But I think we're all still on a plantation.
Shut up. It's for the baby shower.
I ain't gonna lie.
So is this the
spinning
reason why I
so-
haven't really heard you pushing people to vote for any
So much
particular
facts.
candidate this go around?
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm very clear about the fact I let everything play out, but I absolutely love Vivek Ramaswamy. Obviously, he's not running anymore, but his ideas and his laser sharp focus on what the actual issues were, I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I'm obviously voting for Trump. We were all doing better under Trump. It's that simple. I don't care what else they have to say, the libels, the smears. I get it. You do it to me. So I just don't even pay attention. I actually find it to be quite boring now,
What economically, what were the reasons? Because you said that you didn't like that Republicans were giving out money during 2020.
Both. They were just giving out money during COVID. It was crazy.
But that's what a lot of people loved. They loved the stimulus checks. They loved the PPP. So when you say you were doing better under Trump, that's what people point to. But look at the circumstances it took for that to happen. We don't want to have to go through another pandemic in order to get that money.
But the point is that should provide you a lesson how the government works, because people weren't even thinking ahead. You're like, yeah, I'm getting this free check. So I'm not going to work, again, incentivizing poor behavior. What ended up happening was a lot of the mom and pop stores closed, right? A lot of businesses actually had to fold because they couldn't sustain it under the economic environment. They just couldn't thrive. Employees did not want to go to work. It was crazy. And so what ends up happening is the individuals get weaker and the corporations got bigger. Right? Only the corporations could have survived in that environment, which is what unfortunately ended up happening. And then we put our own selves on the hook to be taxed into oblivion, to
that money got to get
paying
repaid
into this ridiculous thing that we agreed to pay into. It would have been much better for us to instead say, I'm happy to work. I don't want your small check. I want you to stop taking tax dollars from me. Shrink government, don't make it bigger. That always has to be the economic narrative. If you want to make government bigger, you are taking from me. Government does not make money. We make money, right? Government can only take money. So when you're advocating for more government solutions, you are literally advocating for the government to come into your check and take more money from you.
That makes
She just articulates it so well. Hey. Her and Vivek are the best articulators I've ever seen.
I ain't gonna lie, bro.
They make
she
points.
might got Vivek, bro. She just
her
dropped
and Vivek
100.
need to really run on the same ticket, and I will.
She just dropped 100.
She did.
She says so much true things.
We need a nationalist president,
especially that part about how they were like, "Why do you think?" Even they noticed the backlash you get if you just criticize Joe Biden or criticize Kamala Harris, and she said that's what they're trying to do. That's their plan. Their literal plan is to do that, so that if you think a different way, go against what they want you to think, then therefore you're not black.
I'm not gonna be okay after this interview. I won't be able to walk outside. Okay.
Yeah, I'm gonna watch this whole thing.
No, I have to, man. They talked about
sent a tweet.
Kanye West and T.I. To Candace Owens.
Damn right I did. So she's absolutely on fire. Lady.
No, yeah, this is.
I done seen her
crazy.
on so many different podcasts.
Yeah, she's been going crazy.
So we're getting her next month, though, right?
She's supposed
April.
Supposedly.
Allegedly, we're supposed to make some content with her in April.
Yeah.
Okay.
Y'all go tell her. Y'all go comment.
We
go comment on her.
I'm gonna
tell her to come on the show.
I'm gonna dress super nice. Get my hair
cut. But
my best cologne
question
on.
though. My boy Charlamagne said something. What's the difference between conservative and MAGA? Well, I would say it is a little different.
So they're trying to say that MAGA is a right-wing extremist cult that wants to take over America and push the white supremacist narrative, and they're pushing Nazi rhetoric. Allegedly. And that's how they demonize the following of Trump rather than typical conservatism or the original conservatism just being conservative. Like you have conservative values, morals, and beliefs being the nuclear family, et cetera, et cetera. They've started to demonize it with their rhetoric and things, trying to make it seem like they're extreme. And they keep referencing the January incident
Jelly bean
as a way to justify that rhetoric and narrative that they've been pushing.
That was the best thing that ever happened to the Democratic Party.
Definitely.
Oh, man.
But besides that, what has
MAGA
done that has been extreme besides maybe,
Well, they didn't do
that day.
But
who MAGA? I'm talking about MAGA. MAGA was there that day.
Oh, yeah. But who? See, that's a group of people.
But we don't even know if they were there. Who was MAGA?
Donald Trump told them, the leader of MAGA said don't do that.
No,
so
MAGA, make America great again. So I'm MAGA.
Me too.
Yeah, I want America to be great.
I'm sorry. I just am trying to support a better economic system for my life and
my kids.
The structure that I'm trying to build as a young man in life and the foundation I'm trying to build on. I'm gonna pick the best political candidate that stands on that. I don't care about everybody feeling represented and all that shit they trying to do on the left with this nonsense they pushing. I'm not with none of that. I'm with my morals and values and who's gonna stand on that. I support having family. I support economic and building a business and all these things in the American dream.
And I'm trying to take that.
And anything that threatens that, I'm against. I feel like everybody in the Democratic Party right now is trying to threaten that, and they want us to be controlled. And I'm sorry, I just haven't seen anything that tells me anything differently.
This the thing,
so I personally am gonna go with what I truly believe. If they demonize me for that, I'm not afraid no more.
I feel like
I'm standing on what I believe in. I'm standing on my best interests.
Republicans are the threat to democracy, but then they have people on their side of the party that believe in communists.
Hey, I'm gonna keep it 100. I think the Democrats.
I can't even.
And you know who communism gives power to? The government.
And Joe Biden, guess who he met with and cleaned up for?
Ching ping ping.
Ching chang chong.
Yeah, guys. Oh man, I literally love Candace. This was a great interview, though.
They don't care about us, bro.
Yeah, man. That's all right. I'm fully in support of Trump. Now, ain't nobody can't tell me a goddamn thing. We gonna make America great again.
That hard, man. You had the GD that hard, man. You had that hair. You had the
great.
I'm sorry. They don't like that, bro.
I'm sorry. We gotta save America, guys. We're gonna make it happen. I definitely do believe that. We have a bright future, guys. We're out of here. We're going, guys.